Hello, everybody, and welcome to Expansion Network. As you know, accelerating the consciousness of humanity every single day. And I am super pleased to welcome again to Expansion Network Judy Machado. Hi, Judy. How are you?
Thank you. Oh my goodness, I'm doing fantastic today. It's Friday. I feel great, and you look great. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. Absolutely. I'm doing very well. Well, just when we started the show, obviously, as it couldn't be otherwise, what was Judy doing? She was drinking some amazing ceremonial cacao. Were you not?
Yes, just connecting to this beautiful cacao just before a beautiful show with all of you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because today we are starting actually a new show. We are starting a new show. We have been preparing it for a while, and we eventually have given the show a great name, the name that it deserves, given what's going on in the universe right now. What's that name, Judy?
Revealing the new earth and sharing practical ways to alter your state of living.
Which is wonderful. And that's exactly what we're going to do every single month, because we're going to have this show is going to be a monthly show. And we're going to bring people, besides ourselves, we're going to bring people here that will talk about exactly that thing, practical ways, because we want to give you, every one of you that is listening to us today, we want to give you practical pieces of advice, practical experiences, practical examples of things that can be done to really, rebuild this new earth and have a completely different life. Don't you think that that's so much needed today, Judy?
Yes, and you know what? We're all aware that the world is shifting, right? There is a new earth that is emerging as a lot of the old systems are crumbling. And so as we shift into this new earth, a lot of people, at least me, here I lived in downtown Toronto, and I see all these people moving and living in these beautiful places in the jungle, Costa Rica, Ecuador. And there's sometimes this perception that, oh, they're creating the perfect world out there. But at the same time, how can we, those of us who maybe are in these concrete jungles, how can we start creating that new earth? How can we hear other practical ways of what people are doing to alter our state of living right now so that we don't get caught up in the chaos that's happening outside of us, right? Like the world is crumbling. There's a lot going on out there. How can we reveal this new earth in our own reality, in our own life? And how can we alter our state of being? And it's really through these daily habits. And that's what the show's going to be all about, is just interviewing somebody every month that can share 1, 2, 3, 5, however many gorgeous, practical, simple ways to alter your state of being, to stay away from the chaos, to become that observer, and to start altering your state of living. And doing that regardless of where you are in the world, right? Whether you're in the concrete jungle like me, or whether you're in these beautiful jungles of Costa Rica, anywhere, we can all create most of these beautiful practices that we're going to be talking about. So today's show, the focus on that is how to create 10-minute miracles. So who doesn't want 10-minute miracles, right? How to make 10 miracles happen in 10 minutes. And I'm super excited because you, Angel, my very good friend, you are our first person, our first show that we are going to talk to, because Angel told me, I think it was years ago when we first met, that you have this incredible practice that you've been doing for several years. And I just thought, this needs to be our first show. Our first Revealing the New Earth show needs to be you sharing this incredible thing that you've been doing with your group. Because anyone can do that regardless of where you are in the world. So go ahead and share with us what that is.
Yes, thank you. Actually, it's amazing because it's been already 4 years and a half almost that we have been doing this, and that sounds like easy, but it's 8, 9 people of us that we have been showing up every single day, every single morning, from 8 Central Standard Time in the U.S., which is 1 hour before the Eastern Standard Time, for those that don't know or that are more familiar with that time zone in the US. So we've been meeting for 30 minutes or more and we call it 10-minute miracles, because actually we intend for 10 minutes to manifest something. And I would like to share, and the reason why we call the show today 10-minute miracles, because actually in those, as you can imagine, intending for 10 minutes, but being together for 30 minutes or more for almost 4 years and a half, the same 9 people, is obviously it's an act of consistency. It's an act of love. It's an act of care for each other. But also it's a place where there's a lot of things that have happened, because you can imagine actually we intend for one specific subject matter or issue or circumstance or initiative every week. So you multiply those 4 years and a half, it's basically 4 times 52 different intentions plus the 6 months, it will be like 26 more intentions. So that's literally, 200 and 32. 432 intentions. Okay, so we have intended for 7 days for 432 intentions. Okay, so that you can imagine 232 intentions, excuse me, no, 226 plus 8, 34, 234 intentions, excuse me, just to make the math properly. Everybody's making calculations at home. So imagine every week on Saturday, what we do every single Saturday is we decide on what's going to be the intention for the following week. And we do it through a draw. Every single week, we draw a number, and we are 9 members of the team. Let's say the first time ever we met, we draw a number we were 8 in the beginning. We draw a number, and that person decides what's the intention that they want manifested that particular week, the following 7 days. And the following 7 days, from Sunday until Saturday, we intend for 10 minutes on that specific action item or a specific, initiative that person wants to intend for.
Okay, so you get together 9 people every day? No, every Saturday.
Every day.
9 people, 9 like-minded people come together every day for at least half an hour, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes
it's 1 hour. I mean, easily because
So Monday to Friday, or every Saturday and Sunday?
7 days a week.
7 days a week, all 9 of you come together for a minimum of half an hour. Every week you have an intention that somebody chooses in the group from this draw, an intention for everyone to manifest, and you intend this intention to be manifested throughout the week.
Exactly.
Oh, so it's like a mastermind, sort of.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's like a spiritual mastermind.
Okay.
And we give an opportunity to every member of the team, right? So every 9 weeks, we are 9 right now, right? Every 9 weeks, it's the turn from someone to have their intention manifested, right? So, for instance, obviously, the first week, there's 9 people in the draw. The second week, there's 8. The third week, there's 7. The fourth week, there's 6. So, so we make sure that in a period of 9 weeks, everybody gets the chance to have an intention manifested, right?
Wow.
And it's really, I mean, it's easy to say, but obviously it's the implementation. Let's say it's not that easy, in the sense that we have had 1 or 2 members that unfortunately couldn't just keep up.
Yes.
And they tried to join, but then they left because they couldn't. So. It took to us a while to have a stable group. Of the original group of the 9, we are 7 of the original group of 8, and then 2 other people that joined afterwards. And yeah, I mean, we are meeting every single morning, 8 Central, for 30 minutes or more. Sometimes we're well over an hour. And really, there have been so many things happening and manifesting, that we are actually working in a book, or on a book, called 10-Minute Miracles.
Oh my goodness. To share this story of what you guys have created and what has been manifested throughout this period together in group.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm so excited because there's so much we're going to break down here, because we've all heard about masterminds. We've all heard about these communities, like-minded, get together with people who all have a vision that's bigger maybe than yours. Together, the collective vision is even bigger. And so, first of all, I'm excited to hear some of the miracles that have happened to date. And then after, let's break it down in terms of anyone who's on the call, if they wanted to start something like this, even little practical tips on who do you even invite into that group? like you guys obviously went through this process, the like-minded, who do you invite? What were some of the tips to get something like this started with maybe 3 people or 4, and growing into as many as it will end up being?
So there's a story behind how we started this and why we did it. So, and that's the story. So, we, and when I say we, is that literally of these 9 people, probably like maybe only 1 or 2 knew each other before we met for the first time. So we all were following someone who is one of the most world famous neuroscientists in the world, his name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And individually, again with the exception of maybe a couple that they're very good friends and they have been friends forever, the rest were just, we didn't know each other. So we just went to this Dr. Joe Dispenza event in Austin, Texas, here in the US. Okay, so there we go, all together. All separately, right? And when those events are packed all the time. It doesn't matter where this gentleman, Joe Dispenza, organizes the event, it's always packed. And you line up outside the room. You are really early because you want to be in the front, blah blah blah, right? So this kind of event that everybody wants to be in the first row because he's really special, right?
Oh yeah.
So before we got into the event, one very good friend of Dr. Joe Dispenza is another lady who is really very famous in this spiritual world. Her name is Lynn McTaggart, and she has a book called The Power of 8. So there we go. And before we went to the event, a few of us had watched one of the latest Dr. Joe Dispenza's interviews that happened with this lady called Lynn McTaggart, who has this book called The Power of 8, and she also has a practice named The Power of 8. So we go to the event. We went the first day, and those events are really, really, really intense in many different ways. So the first evening, everybody goes to goes to have dinner down to the lobby, and on a big high table, there was really like place for 8-9 people. 8-9 different people that don't know each other, didn't know each other at all, got into the same table, and we started to talk about the event, right? And we started to talk about the event, and we all start talking also about Lynn McTaggart. So we not only talked about how the day had been, but also about Lynn McTaggart and the relationship with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And then we start talking about the Power of 8. Oh, what's the Power of 8? And then we start explaining, the Power of 8 is that book of Lynn McTaggart, and also that practice that she has worldwide. She has been able to organize worldwide events with thousands of people involved, in which she has been able to perform, intention experiments in order to decrease the rates of violence in specific areas in which there were wars. So literally, she has been able to organize worldwide events in which she would analyze the specific, rates of violence in a war zone, and then she would organize thousands of people around the world in a specific way, and to intend for a week or for a few days in a week to lower the violence in that place. And consistently, when she does that, the levels of violence in that place go down, decrease all the time. So then she took those massive events into an experiment, and she started to organize events in which she would experiment with numbers of people to see, okay, so how many people, I know that worldwide events work and we are able to impact positively specific places in the world when thousands of people gather at the same time to intend for the reduction of violence. Let's do it in a small setup. And she started to conduct experiments literally she would have like 100 people, 200 people in a room in a hotel, and she would start, testing with numbers. And she came to this magic number of 8. And she was able to demonstrate that when there's a group of 8, at least of 8 people, and they intend in a specific way, magic starts to happen.
Wow.
And that's why after that Dr. Joe Dispenza event, obviously we met every single evening after that first evening, right? And we became friends, and we said, okay, so after this, why don't we get together and we set up a Power of 8 group, our own Power of 8 group.
Oh my God, I have goosebumps. Wow, so serendipitous. How beautiful the setting.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then I was already using Zoom at that time, so we just met one day, and actually, I think that the first day that we met was, I'm very bad at math, as you have realized before, right? But I think it was the last day in 2017 or something like that. It was like December 30th or December 31st, 2017, something like that. So we started, so it took to us probably 1 week, 2 weeks to start this, but we said, okay, so we're going to use my Zoom room. Still to this date, we still use the same Zoom room, like this exact same one, every single morning at 8 a.m., and we all meet, we all gather to do this, to intend for a specific intention every single week.
Okay, there's so much that I just want to feeling within this, because it's so inspiring. I mean, we know let's talk again about the energy, and yes, the science that has already proven over and over and over again that when we bring our energy together, we affect the energy of others around us. Just like you just said, with the cities and different everybody around the city who's not even involved in what you're doing is being affected. The love energy is so intense. So the power. So then you went from 8 to 9. Tell us how that happened.
So this is what happened. We were 8 for a while, and then, I mean, it's very demanding to be every single time. And remember, the reason why we picked 8 a.m. Central Time is because at that time, 5 of us were Central Time.
Oh, yes.
5 of us. So we decided, okay, so we are 8. We're going to make it, 5 of us are Central Time. So one unfortunately left because it's a very demanding schedule, every single day. And there's people in California.
Wow.
There's people in California,
yes.
So that's difficult, right? Yes. So then we lost one, and then we actually, after, probably someone called Don Manuel Ruiz, yes, that you might have heard. Okay. So one of the members of the Power of 8 group met with a super special lady in a Dr. Joe Dispenza event. Then they went together to a Manuel Ruiz event in Mexico, and then she joined the team. And then after that, a friend and someone else. So basically, the Dr. Joe Dispenza's events have been the place where we have met, 1 or 2 more people to join the team and go from, again, we went to 7 and then we went back to 9. And there have been attempts also of people joining that have not been successful, besides the original one that left. And again, we have to, obviously, it's a place of love and care, and we just, but it's still, it has to be, at least it has to be 8. So we are 9, but yeah, that's the reason.
So in a minute, I'd love to get a little bit more into little tips if anyone wants to create that. But before that, what if you could share some of the miracles, like some examples over the last 4 years of somebody setting an intention, you guys come together, what happens during the week, and then what happened? Some beautiful miracle story.
Yeah, well, we have so many because that's why we're writing a book, right? So it's just, and everybody of the 8 or 9 actually have a chapter in the book, and we are sharing our own miracles. There have been all sorts of miracles. I mean, there have been, let's say, miracles, or for instance, the first intention ever was one of the members of the team that he actually lives in California, and he had back pain forever, like forever. Would you believe that after 1 week that back pain disappeared?
Wow, of course it would.
So literally,
people coming together?
So disappeared. So we have had relatives of ours being cured. We have had relatives of ours being, out of specific diseases or family circumstances. We have had like financial, burden being removed, being relieved. We have one of the most powerful intentions that we manifested was we wanted all to go to Cancun for one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's event, and we said, and the intention was, to be in Cancun in June, to be in Cancun in June, to be in Cancun in June, right?
Little rhyme, little.
So that was the intention, and it was very funny because obviously we ended up all of us in Cancun in June, but we weren't precise enough because we wanted to be all of us in the event of Dr. Joe Dispenza, not only in Cancun in June, but also to be in the event, right? So,
Yes.
so it's funny because actually all of us but one was in the event, but we all went to Cancun in June. So one actually was outside the event and was actually in another place in Cancun at that time. So literally, you name it. I think we have got to know our families very well, all our relatives. We have intended for our relatives, for our our siblings, for our parents, for our aunts and uncles. We have intended for our kids, for our children, you name it. We've because obviously every single week, and also we have intended for like worldwide events. And I have to tell you, I mean, we are in tune spiritually, but we are not in agreement with everything.
Yes.
And I think that's important, right? And we are only in agreement that obviously we want to be there and we want to be showing up every single day at 8:30 or 8 a.m., excuse me. But that doesn't mean that we necessarily agree. And that's an interesting exercise, right? Because let's intend for not wearing masks anymore.
Yeah.
Right? But there might be people that might think that masks are necessary, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very good also
Yes.
ego-less exercise in the sense that you intend for something and you intend for something selflessly, regardless of what your human stuck resistance energy is telling you.
Yeah.
So it's also, I would say that besides the manifestation creation part of the intention, there's also this part of personal growth, spiritual growth, and adaptation, right? Because you are really doing something selflessly to make something better, or to improve a specific aspect of your life or someone else's life.
I love that. If we can touch a little bit more on that, because I truly believe that it's so easy today to just get angry with somebody who doesn't have your opinion and literally unfriend them or block them. I mean, or be rude to them. I mean, you look at the news, you look at politicians, it's crazy, the examples that they're setting. And yet this is the new earth, revealing the new earth. Revealing the new earth is, you have an opinion, I have an opinion, that person has an opinion in the middle of our opinion. We all respect each other. There is no need to change anyone's mind. Everyone is in their own reality, in their own world, and that's beautiful. And so I just love that you have this intimate setting. So I can't imagine, especially over the last 2 years, where there's been a lot of this is the truth or this is the truth, like the complete opposites, people on both ends saying this is the truth. So I can imagine you might have had people at both ends, I don't know, in this.
Oh, group. Totally. We do have. Yeah, we do have.
Okay, in completely different groups. This really isn't happening. This is so happening. And so those groups still caring and respecting and loving one another. And that is one of the most beautiful things. If we can cultivate the compassion, I really truly believe, more than anything, cultivate compassion for one another, because we are here in Earth School going through a journey of consciousness, different layers of consciousness, we're literally peeling into a different layer, and each layer sees different things. So we can't expect someone to see something else, whether we're ahead or behind or different layers. We just all have to enjoy. It's like grade school, kindergarten, grade 4. You don't expect kindergarten to see what's going on in grade 4 and understand it. And vice versa. Grade 4 is loving and remembering kindergarten, but is also excited to get to grade 5. But we're all friends and nobody's angry or upset or has ego against, kindergarten students or grade 1. If we could only just remember that beautiful lesson. And so I just love that. I didn't actually think about that. You know, when we were going to talk today, I knew that we were going to talk about what miracles have been created. How do you guys come together? But this is a very serious and beautiful thing that, you know, for anyone listening, even me, I'm thinking, you know, how often does somebody come into my reality? I meet somebody on the street who I've seen for a while or something, and they say something that maybe is like, ooh, that's not quite what I'm feeling right now or where I'm at right now. But how does that feel within you? And how can we cultivate the compassion? And you guys have such a tight knit group, so tight for so long, 4 years. Can you imagine? It could have been so easy 2 years ago or a year ago when things really got crazy in the world. And a lot of, you know, the duality was there, and a lot of people seeing completely different things. I can see how quickly it would have been like, you know what, this group served me for now, but not anymore. But the real beautiful courage and resilience comes from staying together and still taking the opinion, putting it over here, and saying, okay, now still, how can I serve you? How can I help you? What's our intention? How can we work towards this? This is still my opinion. Yours is over here. That's okay. We're not talking about that anyway. We're talking about moving forward with this beautiful intention. That's beautiful. That's really, really inspiring for me. Angel, I'm so happy you shared that part today. Because I really feel revealing the new earth, the name of the show, practical, you know, ways to alter your state of living is going to include compassion. Compassion, you know, we think, well, it's going to be different things such as, you know, what am I doing, my practices, my daily practices, but compassion is one of the most important ones in us literally revealing and nurturing into this beautiful new world.
Thank you. So sorry because I had some technical issues here, but
Yeah.
let me add something because it's not only about that we obviously we all have different ways of seeing the world, and we might even have really opposite opinions about what's going on in the world. It's also that when you formulate, because everybody formulates when it's your turn, because you know your name is the winning name out of the draw, right? You formulate your own, you formulate your own intention, and that means that you might have to reformulate. You know, you might think, you know, I'm not going to stand for this. Why should I stand for this, knowing that I'm putting my energy on something which is wrong? Do you see this, Judy?
Yes.
So actually, in
Wow.
those 4 years, I don't remember one time in which someone actually suggested to reformulate one other person, another person's, intention, right? And that was a critical moment for us as a team, as a group.
Yes.
It was a very intense moment because, you know, then we had to say, and at the end of the day, I think that everybody has to be free, and that's one of the principles of our group is everybody's free to formulate their intention as they want, because it's their intention, right? But what happens if it's a worldwide intention about doing something that you know is wrong,
Yes. Right.
right? So it's like, you know, it's like let's use a very controversial, you know, subject matter here, which is, let's say, the vaccines, right? Not any vaccine in general, but just some of these, you know, controversial vaccines. Let's say I want everybody to be vaccinated, so you know we're all safe.
Yeah.
And then the others saying, you know, we don't want to die, we don't want to know anything about this mix of chemicals that is supposed to be inside this syringe before they put it in your body. Again, these are the most, you know, extreme positions, right? The most extreme positions. So what happened? And again, that happened one time. It wasn't about vaccines, but it was about something really controversial.
Right.
What happens when someone says, well, I'm not sure if I want to intend for this way because it's completely against what I believe it's happening in the world, right? So eventually, that only time that happened actually, the intention was slightly changed by the person that had put that intention, formulation, you know, phrasing, wording out there was being changed, but we still all intended for that particular thing, you know, because at the same time, I think that you end up creating a lot of compassion.
Yeah.
and there's a lot of ways to, and that's another thing, how we do it, because it's extremely important. It's not only the fact that we have an intention and that we obviously after so many years we are resilient and we have been able to develop a way of a level of understanding which is really high, but also how to do this, because the secret is, in order to do this and have those miracles, it's not that just you have an intention and we all think about the intention. No, there's a specific way to do it. And Dr. Lynn McTaggart teaches how to do it. So there's a specific way to do it. It's not just thinking of these words and thinking those words to happen. When you intend on someone's sickness or illness, it's easier because you just, it's because we all focus our energy on that specific person. Obviously, we share a lot of pictures. We share pictures from relatives, from friends that need, support. At the same time, also, we have had circumstances in which we have intended for someone that was in ICU, for instance, and unfortunately died. It's not that we are super human. We are all super powerful, and we are extremely, obviously, we are divine forces, and we are powerful and unstoppable divine forces. But there's we also feel sad when we are not able to help someone, and that person, I think a couple of times or maybe 3 times, we have intended for people external to the group that have unfortunately died. But that's how much we could do.
Yes. Well, you know what? If we can come back to, because I love that example you used, and that's reminding me too, in the wisdom that I'm remembering around the universe, and how when we ask and intend, sometimes we ask and intend for something specific. So we're like, I would like that specific house right there. That's the house I want to buy. Or I would like that job right there. But we know that if we why do we want the house? Well, we want to be safe. We want to be in a beautiful environment. We want to be in a gorgeous home. So what if we intend for those things? So zoom out. Why do we want that job or that home? Or why, for example, for that person who said, well, I would like for everybody to be vaccinated. Maybe that's her intention. I don't know if that was, but let's pretend that's a beautiful example. So instead of using that as, I would love that because that's going to make everyone healthy. Well, let's talk about making everyone healthy. So maybe the intention is, how do we create a beautiful mind shift in optimum nutrition and mind, body, spirit health in humanity, something like that. And I know that's kind of big and vague, but that's a beautiful example. And then we let the universe decide, well, which house? Maybe that house wasn't the right house for us. The universe saw that there was a much better house over here, but because we only see this much, so we only see that house, we think that's perfect, but the universe sees everything. So you have no idea what's over here. This is an even better house for you. And the universe is going to collectively give you that. And when we're open, so I love this idea of zooming out. So what is it, your intention, your goal? And then is it very narrow? And can we maybe zoom out even more and to allow the universe to flow even more with us, do that dance? So that's so cool. You've also said, so many other things. You talked about free and freedom. So everyone has this freedom to speak, this freedom within the group to share, bring to the table something. I think that's so beautiful too. And it goes back to the whole compassion, right? And again, some people might share something that maybe you don't quite believe in, but how can we all support each other in, even, I guess you have some beautiful conversations around beliefs too, and sort of the shift into the new earth, right? And what's happening. So that's beautiful too. And then I also wanted to talk to you about, let me just see here. Yes, can you share, because for instance, I would love to get a small group together. And I know that I've been invited in the past to certain groups, and it would be very important to me who's in the group for sure. Are they sort of at the same place that I'm at? Are they going to bring me forward? Are they going to, inspire me to grow more as well? Like all these different things. So share what are some important things in selecting people. So you talked about Dr. Joe. That was sort of the main beautiful thing. Everybody knew Dr. Joe. What a beautiful place to start. But what if some people aren't out there and don't even know Dr. Joe, or don't even know what that even means about a personal group? What are some great sort of ways to think about who can I choose, or who can I reach out to, or intend to create?
I'm gonna be extremely controversial with my answer, and I'm going to be very critical as well. So, and that obviously there's a reason for that, and because you described it extremely well, right? I mean, when you were describing, I would like you to describe the profile of the people, right? So, Judy Machado's ego just kicked in, and that's her expectations, and it's your life. You decide what you want to do, right?
Yes.
And you would say, well, I mean, it was really a serendipity, right? That we were there at that event, and we didn't know about every journey of everybody, right? And we just decided to start meeting. So I would say that the group itself is powerful, and it has a power in itself.
Yes.
In the sense that literally, regardless of the levels of consciousness and the journeys of everybody, the important thing is what happens during those 30 minutes, but more importantly during those 10 minutes. So, throughout this time also, we have been changing the way that we think about the intentions, and we intend for something, right? We have been also, sometimes we use a guided music for 10 minutes, guided meditation for 10 minutes. Sometimes we use only music, and over time we get tired of a specific music, and then we go back to maybe guided meditation. Again, it's only 10 minutes, right? Yeah. But going back to the original question, I'd say that it's much more important, the intention of being in the group and the willingness of being in the group, than where these people come from or what they have done before.
Yes.
What our team shows, and those 9 that we have been, these 9 that we're right now, we've probably been like 2 years, maybe more, of these 4 years, these 9. I would say that we weren't necessarily in the same level of spiritual development, but we just decided that we wanted to do this together, and we wanted to be there. The main reason why people leave is always the same one. It's very difficult to be at that time in the morning every single day. Every single day. So you have to plan for having these 30 minutes. You have to plan for waking up at 7:30 no matter what every single day. No matter what. I mean, it's true that, for instance, if you go abroad and you go to, I don't know, you go on vacation, maybe you will not be able to be there for 3-4 days maybe, but still the rest 7 or the rest 8 are there. You know what I mean? Yes. And still, even if it's, for instance, the person that goes on vacation, it has happened to us, the person that goes on vacation gets to be picked for the intention that week, we still work on that intention, So the most important thing to choose someone is to set their expectations, to set the right expectations. And it's a time expectation. It's like, you will have to be with us no matter what, at least for 30 minutes, and intending for 10 minutes, no matter what, every single day. That's the number one rule, and there's no other rule.
Yes.
Literally, there's no other rule, because then the magic happens.
Yes.
And then the things happen inside the group.
Beautiful.
And because, as you know also, some people intend one way, some people like to, shut off their cameras, some people like to keep the cameras on. When we're talking before the intention, we all have audio and video on. During the intention, some people keep the camera on. Everybody switches the audio off just because we have music. So someone is sharing music every single day, right? Also, we have a small prayer that we say in the beginning, and we have a small prayer that we say at the end. So before the 10 minutes, we say, let's go. Actually, we say it in Spanish. We say, vámonos, right? And then we say that prayer. One of the members of the team says that prayer, and then we do the 10-minute intention, and then there's another prayer that is being said by the same person, right? Sometimes we struggle to repeat the same prayer when that person is not there, because again, it's the habit of, it's always the same guy, right, blah, 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 And again, it's very easy to see. I mean, within a week, Judy, people get tired already, or they say, or their egos kick in, and they say, no, I want to meditate my own way, or I don't like the music that is being chosen, and Because there's two ways to see this, Judy, when you're not in agreement. You can think, okay, so I'm not in agreement and I'm not going to do that because I have tried that a million times. It doesn't work. It's the wrong music. It's the wrong intention, blah, blah, blah. Or you can say, why not?
Yes.
Why not? What's the worst thing that can happen if I go that route that my ego is telling me not to go down to? You don't know. Maybe there's a reason why I should do this week. Then maybe there's a reason why we should use this music. Maybe there's a reason why we should change this way that we are actually thinking about the intention or the intender, right? Maybe there's, so why not? And again, so can you imagine, I mean, again, there's always some level of getting out of your ego every single week on Saturdays. You know, on Saturday we do the draw, and then on Sunday, the person says, this is the intention, right? So between 9 a.m. on Saturday until 8 a.m. on Sunday, that person has all those hours to decide what's her or his intention going to be for the week, yes. Right? And then, okay, we have the intention, and then that intention is repeated obviously every single day after that small prayer. And then, so we are all refocused on that intention, and then we are for 10 minutes intending for that. And then there's like the exit prayer as well. And again, it's an exercise, and that's why, you know, revealing the new earth, right? Revealing the new earth. What does the new earth need? I think that one of the things that the new earth needs is to, why not? Is it illegal? No. Are we going to be hurt? No. So what do we have to lose? Just try. Yes. You know, and by the way, you know, after the intention, very often what happens is that people have experiences. I saw that. I saw while we're doing this now, I just saw these people. I just saw those lights. I just saw this happening. Mm-hmm. And that happens very often.
Of course. The visions, right, that come through.
Like very, very, very often things come to us while we are intending, because again, it's a powerful, you know, spiral. It's a powerful vortex of energy that we create every single day.
Yes, it really is a vortex.
Yeah, it is.
Attention, everyone is on the same page. Everyone is bringing all their presence and energy and love to that intention, to one another, and it's a circle. It's almost like a circle, and it is a vortex. It's phenomenal.
It is a vortex.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a vortex. Yeah, it is.
And for those who are listening, you know, there's probably people thinking, wow, you know, maybe that is something that they can create, whether it's 8 people or maybe smaller to start. What do you think for that?
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't start with less than 8. Okay. Again, you can make it larger if you want to, but I wouldn't start with less than 8, just because Lynn McTaggart has already done all the work,
yes.
has done the math, you know, yes. and she knows that it's 8 or more that the miracles start to happen. She doesn't call it miracles, you know, it's intention experiments. That's how she calls those, intention experiments. And she says it's 8. So obviously anybody can start any group for any reason, but I would say if you're serious about doing this and you would like to do it and you would like to start creating 10-minute miracles consistently, have 8 people and start gathering for 30 minutes, 10-minute miracles, 10-minute intentions, you know, and see what happens.
Wow.
Yeah, naturally you will see. I mean, naturally people will say no, or I prefer to go to other groups or whatever. That's okay. But we decided, you know, we decided to do it, and we stuck to it, and this is the reality, you know, and one of these days we're going to be publishing the book.
Oh my God, I just love it. This is so amazing. I'm even thinking of any other final questions as we wrap up. Because again, going back to, I guess, how we started, which is this can be applied anywhere in the world. We have Zoom today. It could be anyone in the world. It could be people you don't even know who somehow are in the group with you, you've never met, somebody who suggested somebody or whatever, right? Like, just like you said, very few people actually knew each other. So it's so easy to do today, regardless of where you are and the different yeah, it sounds like such a beautiful beginning of a new family that you guys have created, a whole new family. And like you said, it's even outside of the nine, you know, the families, you know, everyone's family. So multiply that out, and just the love and the compassion. And I can't even imagine, we didn't even talk about this, the support. I would imagine within the group, like if someone in the group, and I don't know if you do that formally on the call or if it's done after, but if someone in the group, you must all know what each other does and sort of
Totally.
from each other, and you know what the magic that can happen from that outside of a weekly intention, um, is pretty powerful. That's incredible.
Yeah, we get to know each other. Obviously, after so many years, we know everything, and because there's always been a relative of someone that has needed an intention for that particular week. There's always there's always there has always been an opportunity to serve someone, you know, within the group and some relatives. So yeah, we know each other really very, very, very well. Obviously, we have helped each other in many other ways besides what the group does, right? Obviously, we have helped each other. And by the way, maybe to finalize an additional something else that we decided to do, and we keep on doing actually, because we are spread, right? So that you know, there are 3 in Houston, 2 in Mexico City, 2 in California, 1 in Washington D.C., and myself in Dallas, right? So this is this is the group.
Oh.
Yeah. Did they leave anybody out? No, I think no. No, 3, 5, 7, 9. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, we're good. Sorry, I would be so sorry to leave someone outside, right? So we obviously wealth has been one of the key, pillars of things that we intend for very, very often. So we have also set something up, which is that every time there was one member of the team that was generous enough to actually buy 9 silver, literally, high quality silver coins. It's a pity I don't have it with me. I should have brought it to the call. But so he had a few, and he bought additional ones. And when we were together in Cancun, what we did is every one of us had 1 silver coin. So when we meet personally, and actually I met with them last week, I met with 3 of them, we exchange our coins as a way to have the flow of wealth to keep on flowing among us. So every time that we meet personally, we exchange the silver coins as a way to say the wealth keeps on flowing inside our group.
Wow.
And when sometimes, for instance, we meet and someone has forgotten, and that was actually my case one time. It's funny because I drove all the way to California to meet one member of the team as a surprise, and I forgot to take the coin with me. Obviously, I didn't go back home, right? So I got there. So then what he did was he gave me his coin. So he remained without coin until he meets someone. He will have another coin, right? But I was able to circulate my 2 coins that I got after I went to California, and the one that I had at home, right? I was able to circulate them with the 3 members that are in Houston just last week, actually just 1 week ago.
Wow.
As a way to, and obviously, I would love everybody in the audience to not only read Lynn McTaggart's books, but also she has a website. She has a manual on how to organize a group, how to intend, what to focus your energy on when you are intending for something specific.
Yes.
Right? Obviously, as you can imagine, visualizing energy, visualizing vortex of energy, visualizing your heart, bringing your attention to your heart. Lots of many different things that you can obviously imagine are part of that, way of that practice of, focusing all together for 10 minutes to intend for someone in the group, or someone that wants something else for someone outside the group.
That's beautiful. So what a beautiful resource. What a great way to end this is to refer to her website, to her books, and she has an actual process, a little system that you can follow.
Totally. And you can sign up for her group. You can sign up for her practice. I mean, she organizes Power of Eight groups. We are not one of her organized Power of Eight groups. We are, let's say, outside. But I mean, we all have read her book. I mean, we are readers. I mean, we all love to read. Literally, we love to read. We're always reading books. We're always referring books. Literally, all the time. I mean, just the other day, one of the ladies in the group had given me 3 books. I just sent them back to her after she gave me, and I gave another one a book. We're always like sharing those experiences and sharing these things that we see in the world.
Oh my God. That's amazing. And one last question. Is her system, is it a time, like 30 minutes? Or is it
No. The only thing which is timed is the 10 minutes.
Okay.
That's the only thing. So
Okay.
we decided to meet for 30 minutes as a way to try to focus on what is really important, which is the intention. Because if you don't put boundaries, I tell you, sometimes on Saturdays or Sundays, we easily get over 1 hour.
Yes.
Because what we discuss is so fascinating. I mean, really, what we discuss is beautiful, and we have so much fun. I mean, it's really. I mean, we are a fun group. I mean, literally, we are a fun group. I mean, we have fun.
Yes.
I mean, I could tell you so many stories, right? I mean, but we really have fun together. So that's why we limited like the whole thing to 30 minutes, but the 10 minutes, it's 10-minute intention. It's a 10-minute intention. That's the only thing that she says. The rest of the time you want to be together, it's up to you. And typically it's very handy to have 30 minutes blocks during the weekdays, to make sure that everybody feels comfortable also. And if someone starts like talking about other things, hey, be careful. We have to be done at 8:30.
Yes. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So before we end, because I want to share something at the end, what would you say to anyone who is kind of considering, sort of, wow, this is interesting, but it sounds like a big commitment. What would you say to help that person sort of get over, whether it's a block or whether it's, because, we don't know what we don't know yet. And obviously, something that we don't know, which is this magic and miracles, this vortex that you can literally create from home with 8 other people. What would you say?
Well, I think it's very simple. It's what are you devoting your time to? What are you devoting your attention? Where is your attention right now? Where would you like your attention to be right now? What would you like to accomplish in your life? So basically for us, it has been an incredible experience, an incredible journey. And the main reason why we are stuck and we are all together still after 4 years and a half is because it works. It works. We have been able to experience firsthand, all of us, that what we do goes beyond the physical dimension, goes beyond the physical realm. It really works. So, it's up to you to decide. Everybody like watching us right now, it's up to you to decide if you want to keep on, doing what you do and spending your time in your life on what you're spending, or you want to explore maybe a not so explored part of your life, which is still there. And know it or not, it's there. You're an unstoppable divine force. And by joining other people, 7 other people, you can accomplish literally anything you want.
Wow.
That would be my answer to your question, Judy.
I just need to sit in that space for a second. And I hope everybody sits just for 1 second in that space. Let it sit and let it simmer. Because that was so beautifully said. So beautiful, so inspiring. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Angel. I'm so glad we did this. We've been talking about this. I've been wanting to pick your brain for so long about this. We got a beautiful hour just now, and everyone gets to experience it too. I'm so excited, and I know that I wanted to send a beautiful message out. Well, also I want to say hello to your beautiful group, to your other group.
Thank you.
Group
of course.
The other 8, including you, the 9, to say hello and thank you for doing what you're doing, because you shared this story with us. And every month we're going to continue this show. Every single month we're going to do this show, and we're going to have a new topic. So Today was about how to create 10-minute miracles, because this is Angel's story that he was bringing to all of us to share. So if any of you are listening and you either have something also that you believe is a practical way to alter your state of living today as we reveal this new earth, and you want to share that, please reach out to us. Or maybe you know somebody who's doing practical ways that can be done anywhere in the world, that are simple and beautiful, and exponentially, incredibly effective at supporting us to like you said, to continue to grow, grow in love. And so reach out to us if you do. Thank you so much, Angel. This was so beautiful. I'm so grateful we finally did this.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, it's been a pleasure. The connection between Judy and I goes beyond this show. We've helped each other. We do as much as we can for one another, and you can probably see why after this conversation today. Obviously, I thank you very much. The possibility not only of having allowed me to share what our Power of Eight group does and share it with the rest of the world, and also obviously with your tribe, right, with your community. Thank you, everybody that is watching this. And obviously, if anybody wants to see us again, as you said, within a month we'll be here again. If you want to see me, to know more about the Power of Eight group, something that I can do. I can post I'm gonna do it now on some of the. I'm gonna be posting my email address. It's obviously on the copy of this post, but still, if you want to reach out to me to know more about that, or you need to know who Lynn McTaggart is, whatever that is, it will be a pleasure to do it. And I'm very happy also that we are using Expansion Network to be able to expand and revealing the new earth that's so necessary today.
An Expansion Network, is there a place they can go to learn more?
Yeah, they can go to Expansion Network on Facebook. It's spelled as you see here. Let me move myself a little bit out of the frame here. It's Expansion Network. That's how it's written. So if you go to Expansion Network, both on YouTube or on Facebook, you will easily find, our videos, our conversations. We have a ton of conversations, including a few with Judy from a couple of years ago. Last year, we did many powerful conversations that we had with Judy. So Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you very much, Judy.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you for everything you do. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. Yourself too, Angel. I love you all.
Thank you.
Let's go and live a beautiful life, and we'll see you in a month.
See you in a month. Exactly. Thank you. Bye-bye. Happy weekend.